So, it looks like Sony might have a little bit of an advantage over Xbox, a significant advantage actually, for the foreseeable future if this turns out to be true. So, let's kind of take this stuff with a grain of salt for right now because, we never really know what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, I feel like we could be heading this way. And the sad part is, when I complain about this or I mention that, I hope this isn't the case or whatever, people realistically say to me, well, you should just accept it. You should just, it's okay. It's there's nothing you can do. It's the way of the world. It's the way things are going, etc., etc. For me, I always say, if you're a consumer, you have the ultimate tool. You have your wallet. You have your voice. You can speak up and say whatever you want to say. Right? If you don't agree with something. So, looking at this, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I wish more people would speak up, because this is definitely how I feel 100%. So if you didn't know, according to analysts, Xbox's next-gen console is not going to feature a disk drive. If you look at things right now, Xbox rarely gets any type of, a lot of times they'll get skipped over for physical games, and it's really unfortunate. They laid off their physical game team or whatever, which was also unfortunate. But let's get into this. I think it should be a good video, a little bit of an enlightened video as well. It says that they're expected to go full digital next gen, and PlayStation and Nintendo won't, but that PlayStation will follow after that. So Xbox is expected to abandon physical media and go full digital next generation. At least that's what known industry analyst Matt Piscatella believes. For quite some time, we've seen Xbox pulling the chariot when it comes to digital transformation. Aside from several high-profile titles, including recent titles such as Hellblade 2 not releasing physically, which, by the way, they also didn't release Ghostwire Tokyo physically on Xbox, which is weird, since that's a game, they own. I mean, Hellblade 2, obviously, is a game that they own as well, but to me, it's just weird why you wouldn't release those games on your platform and give people a chance to buy them. You sell a console that has a disc drive, and then you sell games that they can't use on those disc drives. So anyway, there are signs that several major retailers have stopped selling physical copies of Xbox titles. Back in January of this year, it was reported that Xbox layoffs might have included a shutdown of the physical release teams. Microsoft has also shut down departments dedicated to bringing Xbox games to physical retail, which if you've seen the digital-only Xbox console leaks, you'll know and get an idea of where Microsoft is going. Talking to industry analyst Matt Piscatella, yes, I know he's wrong sometimes, I get it, but again, I've had my fears about this as well for very valid reasons. He's talked about Xbox players should expect no physical releases sooner than later. Later on, he said he added that he expects Sony to do the same after another generation, followed by Nintendo after another 2 console generations. He says, and I quote, "Folks should probably get used to the idea of no physical Xbox versions across the market sooner rather than later." Following a post from the CEO of Limited Run Games about the physical release of Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered Collection. Yep, give PlayStation another gen, Nintendo another 2. He added, whether Microsoft will indeed go full digital during the next console generation remains to be seen, but the shift to all digital is clear. Following the all digital Xbox Series S console, Microsoft recently announced the new Xbox Series X Digital Edition. The white version of the Series X will launch this holiday for $450 plus tax. So, again, I think that realistically this would be a bad move for Microsoft because that gives more choices to PlayStation owners, right? So that's, I think, the real thing that kind of would really bum me out is the fact that you have a situation where where PlayStation's the only game in town for the physical market, and that would be very bad. This is why I think Microsoft talks a good game a lot of the time, and we don't know if this is true or not, so we're just speculating in this video, so don't hate me for giving my opinion on it. But we're in this situation where, like, for somebody like me, right, I buy a lot of physical games. Yes, I buy digital games as well, and then I usually will go back and buy you know, the digital or the physical version after I get the digital. I game share with my brother. That's why I buy digital versions on Xbox. I don't game share with anybody on PlayStation 5, so I buy a lot of physical there. Why not do what Sony did, right? Like, I was a little bit skeptical when, you know, they came out with the Slim, which I really like the Slim. It's a much sleeker console. It still retains kind of that cool design of the PlayStation 5, but, you know, it has a spot for a disk drive, and, you know, you can either buy it separately or you can not. Like, so I really like that. I don't see why you can't give people the option of that. You're talking about taking your games with you. Well, if you're somebody like me, I have hundreds, you know, of I have hundreds of physical games for Xbox. So why shouldn't I be able to play those in the future, right? They talk up game preservation and things like that, but digital games can be pulled from your library. You can be banned from your console. There's a lot of ways you can lose access to those games, and, you know, it's a really unfortunate situation, to say the least. So hopefully that all can kind of be worked out before too long. I would love to see something worked out where we could continue to play our games. You know, like, to me, it's really just kind of a shame that this happened, and, you know, it does give PlayStation a bit of a huge advantage. So, you know, if you're somebody that likes digital, and let's be real, even though, you know, whatever the case may be, 70% digital or 80% digital, that 20% is millions and millions of sales in software, right? And Nintendo, I'm dubious of them ever leaving the physical market, you know, because just how they are, you know. So again, this could be advantageous to Sony, because if you look at it, let's just say, okay, so next generation, we're looking at an Xbox. You know, they only have digital options, while PlayStation gives you the option to have a physical drive as well. And also, it looks like Xbox games will be on PlayStation, and PlayStation games will be on PlayStation. So it's like all the best of both worlds will be on PlayStation. I don't see how that would work out very well at all for Microsoft in the future. You know, like, to me, that would be a very bad thing. And there are people that like to, you know, collect the physical games and things like that. I'm one of them. So, you know, I hope that, you know, Microsoft decides against that. You know, I understand that whatever the case may be, it makes it apparently only $50 more expensive. But, you know, at $50 is realistically what is going to you know, change in terms of, you know, whether people buy your console or not. Why not just offer them the option? You know, I think Sony would do the right thing to continue to do that. Obviously, Microsoft has a lot to learn in these instances, because it seems like they used to go from, oh, well, it's all about options or whatever, but I realistically think what they've done over the years is, you know, sort of train people to go digital, right? And I know that's not, but that's what Game Pass is. You know, it's really training people to not have their games and not own anything. And I've always said this, right? Because people will go, oh, well, everything so much is digital now. That hasn't made life better for anybody, in my opinion, right? I liked going to Blockbuster on a Friday night. You know, I like going into a store to buy something, you know. I liked Toys R Us. Okay, we lose out on a lot of stuff, right? So for many that don't know me, I'm a big collector of things. Not a hoarder. I don't collect. I don't keep everything, but like my video games and things like that, I definitely keep. And, you know, I've done that since I was very young, and I hope to keep so. I know it's like between the government and these companies, they want you to own nothing and be happy about it, right? Just go, oh, well, there's nothing you could do, just accept it. I don't accept it, right? I still buy physical media. The best value for your money is still physical media. 4K Blu-ray is just as expensive as buying that 4K movie to stream, right? It's just as expensive. But you get with a 4K Blu-ray, you get the 4K Blu-ray, a regular Blu-ray, and you get a digital copy anyway. So you get 3 different versions of that, right? That's still the best version, and that's still the best way to do it, in my opinion. You know, I collect vinyl still, right? I got a record player for Christmas last year. You know, I love vinyl. It sounds great. To me, you got to have something if you know what I'm saying. I know people say, oh well, you don't own it anyway. You do, man. I still own my copy of Mario Brothers 3 from when I was a kid. I can pop that in my NES. Nobody can block me from that. I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? What do you think? Let me know. Rack 'em up. Crep Gamer out.